moving on. Is the whole setup of the committee, who's going to be, I mean, are we talking about bargaining unit members who are out at the work sites getting more time off than what's already given to them to come and be involved in this process, or is this a process between the union officials and the...
Actually, you're looking at the people. I would like to, with Timmy, myself, maybe Roy, and one of our legal counsel, in addition to your people that work with this thing with me every day.
Not me.
I got plans.
Yeah, a small operation, maybe 4 or 5 people, I believe all we need on each party. We could.
Yeah, I mean, you all could do that tomorrow without us, but you'll get something like that in our award anyway.
Well, the reason I did, Mr. Arbitration, I waited for this because obviously you're going to change this contract.
Sure, understood.
What's going to happen prospectively, so I wanted the dust
Yeah.
to settle from this, then we'll.
Understood. Okay, understood.
Thank you, officer. Thank you, Sergeant. At this point, I would like to move to our second last slide, the proposal number 8. This is union business, and I would call Jason Bloom up to testify. Jason has already testified, so I will go straight to the proposal. What are we proposing to do here?
Well, union business leave, it's another leave code that we use for all the members back here when they take off for a local union meeting, a state board meeting, a president's meeting, even grievances for WEJAC and EJAC. And basically what we want, we'd like it to count as a paid leave.
Okay. Let's backtrack a little bit. Each SCI has a local union, correct?
Yes.
And each local union has president, vice president.
Yes.
And under the collective bargaining agreement as it's written now, if I'm the president of one of the locals, how many union business days do I get off per month?
2.
At least 2 or, okay, all right. And when I take those 2 days off, who pays me?
The union does.
All right. Explain that, does the union actually pay me, or do I get paid by the Commonwealth and the union reimburses the Commonwealth?
No, we actually, the PSCOA, the association, pays that number. That's what we're trying to get in this proposal, is that we would reimburse the Commonwealth penny for penny.
Okay. Similar to what's in place now with some of the statewide executive officers, correct?
Correct.
So, for example, for yourself, you're the Western Vice President.
Yes.
And you are paid by who?
I receive a paycheck from the Commonwealth, and then I believe every 3 months, we reimburse, union reimburse the Commonwealth.
Okay. And your time gets credited for what then?
Seniority.
And,
Retirement.
okay. When I take, as a local president, when I take a union business day, I get paid not from the Commonwealth, but from PSCOA, and what time do I get credit for?
You get credited for seniority, but not towards retirement.
Okay. So your proposal is asking for that individual to get credited with not only seniority, but with retirement for those days.
Correct.
And let's talk about how many days and how that adds up. If I'm elected president and I take those 2 union business days per month over that 2-year term, what are we looking at there?
We're looking at approximately 48, possibly 50 days.
Okay.
In a normal 2-year term.
And if you're talking about 48 days over a 2-year term, how many pay periods?
10 days in the pay period, so about 4.5, almost 5 full pay periods.
Okay. So I'm losing, is that 2 months? About 2 months of retirement to serve as the local president. Now, when these local presidents, local vice presidents are on these union business days, what are some of the things they're dealing with?
Well, if they're at a local union meeting, they're hearing the concerns of the membership, possibly grievances, things of that nature, and what they're doing then is they're going to go back, either file grievance, or they may even be able to head a grievance off by going to local management and settling the issue, basically causing good working relations between both parties.
So when I'm out there working in the field, at least in the local area, as a president, vice president, what effect, if any, do I have on the labor management relations? In your experience?
It can be very smooth or it can be very rocky.
Okay. And these local presidents, they assist in the filing of grievances?
Vice presidents, yes,
All right. They assist in resolving grievances before they get to arbitration?
absolutely.
Okay. So when when they're on this union business leave, do you believe that, obviously PSCOA has a benefit, there's no doubt to that,
Correct.
and the local president or vice president gets a benefit from that. Do you believe the Commonwealth gets a benefit when this individual's on union business leave?
Yes.
And how does the Commonwealth get a benefit?
Like I said, it will be smoother relations, less cases being heard in either EJAC, WEJAC, which in turn, less cases that will go to arbitration. It just reduces everything.
Okay. Now, in addition to the retirement aspect of when you're on union business leave, that also affects overtime, doesn't it?
Correct.
All right. So if I take a union business leave, I don't get up to that 40 or the 80-hour magic number, that pay period? Are we asking to do something there also?
Well, if it would be considered as a paid leave, yes.
Okay. So in addition to getting credit for time worked in regard to retirement, we're also looking for it to get credit for time worked in regard to calculating or being eligible for overtime, correct?
Yes.
All right. That's all I have.
And the union business leave days are usually taken for the joint committee meetings, the grievance meetings?
Grievance meetings or even local union meetings once a month.
Okay, and they're taken in full-day increments rather than 3 hours here, 4 hours there?
Yes, usually.
Okay. And does each local president use both days each month?
They may not have any grievances for EJAC or WEJAC, so it could only be a day.
Okay. Questions?
I find this one to be pretty astounding, to be honest with you. The Commonwealth is gets their source of funds from the taxpayers, right, of the Commonwealth. And are you familiar, do you ever watch the news, what's going on in Wisconsin or Ohio currently?
Yes.
Okay. So the Commonwealth's supposed to go to the taxpayers and say, we want to compensate for purpose of retirement, eligibility for overtime or whatever, so many days per year for union business.
As I previously testified, penny for penny.
Right. And
The association will reimburse the Commonwealth.
understand that how do you work out like Social Security taxes on that, do you know?
Beyond me.
So does the Commonwealth incur an expense because we have to do withholdings for FICA and things like that we're not reimbursed for?
I don't know.
So you don't know if it's penny for penny?
Wages penny for penny.
Yeah, but when there's a roll-up of cost, have you ever made a payroll? Have you ever had a payroll where you paid employees?
No.
Okay, and when you do that, you have to pay Social Security taxes, your share, you have to pay unemployment taxes, et cetera. So there is is there a compensation for that? I don't know.
I was going to ask, maybe Mr. Pinto could
We
clarify.
reimburse the Commonwealth penny for penny. It doesn't cost you a cent. It doesn't cost the taxpayer.
Okay.
That's under the Act as it stands now. And if your salary is $50,000,
It's the same.
then, no, it's more than 50,000. You're actually paying more than that because you're paying the employer's Social Security. You're paying the employer's share of unemployment. You're paying for the health care. You're paying for the whole thing. It's a net, the Commonwealth becomes a pass-through, and that's it.
Does the Commonwealth, like, bill you for that? Like, how's that
You
done?
get
It's
a
billed?
quarterly bill from
Bill,
the
okay.
Commonwealth for everything.
And sometimes we pay it.
Under this proposal, can we send you a bill for the overtime cost that would not otherwise be paid? Is that part of your proposal?
No, that's not.
Okay.
I'm
And,
talking overtime.
Yes, you are.
And you be like,
and
You're talking qualified hours to meet, to qualify for overtime, and that these 2 business days a week count as those eligible hours.
Yes.
So you might not otherwise qualify, or else you wouldn't be proposing this,
I
right?
could argue that the fact that these people, you've been reimbursed for their 8 hours that they just worked, okay? So if they want to work overtime and you want to pay them straight time, you want to take their half time away from them, and you think that's right?
Well, it all gets down to the witness's statement that it's a great benefit to the Commonwealth to have them working on union business 2 days a month. That's the question to the taxpayer as well. That's the only point I wanted to make.
I think the taxpayers in Pennsylvania are a little bit more astute than the taxpayers in Wisconsin, number one. And number two, I really don't like the tone of that because it almost sounds like a threat.
A threat to whom? A threat to whom?
A threat to this unit.
How is it a threat?
Well, that what's going to happen here is going to happen in Wisconsin if you get this particular benefit.
No, I'm just talking about public perception. There is certain public perception now between public employees and private sector employees. You have to admit that.
And that public perception has dwindled significantly in Wisconsin, where the governor and the legislature have taken a nosedive in their popularity ratings, and more people than not say they would not have voted for the man again.
Mr. Arbitrator, if I may,
I
bring it
was
back to earth.
Thank you, Brian.
We would, and maybe this would be more appropriate to brief, we would, to the extent that they're requesting this proposal in order to accrue retirement credits, Pennsylvania's Retirement Code actually establishes what is considered for purposes of determining those retirement credits. And I'm not sure that this panel would have the jurisdiction to supersede what the Retirement Code establishes as qualified days.
Okay, so you may present something to us addressing that.
Sure.
Okay, I appreciate that. Anything further for the witness?
No, nothing further for the witness.
Thank you, sir.
And last but not least would be our next slide, the most controversial slide, I believe, is the as-is provision. So we would just simply request that all other provisions, all other remaining benefits remain as is. And with that being said, unless there's any questions from the board, unless there's any further questions from the Commonwealth, we would rest our case in chief for today.
Okay, thank you very much. We're adjourned until 9:30 tomorrow morning.
Thank you.